Hi, Rudy.
Hi, Jess. I'm French, born in France, French passport, nationality. Like
Yeah.
trying to show that I belong, that I have my
Yeah.
place here. And then she simply tells me, not a cultural fit. And I quickly understood that, no matter how hard I tried, it maybe would not work.
Hello, everyone. I am Jess, and welcome back to Behind the Yellow Curtain Season 2. If it's your first time listening, welcome. This season, I invite many of my friends to be on my couch, and we're going to talk about their backgrounds, their life stories and experiences, how they got to Japan, like I did. And yeah, without further ado, hi, Rudy.
Hi, Jess.
Hello. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me as well on the couch.
Hope it's like a comfortable enough couch for you.
It is. Tall guy in Japan, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's a tiny couch for you, but it's fine. Yeah, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I am French. I'm sure that you can hear that, but yeah, I am French.
Mm-hmm.
French. I've been living here for like 8 years now.
Yeah.
I do actually have a good anecdote about that, but we can talk later.
Okay.
But
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
So how did you get to Japan?
Okay. Start hitting with the hard questions
Yeah.
from the start.
Yeah. We're jumping right in.
Yeah. The way that I got to Japan, basically I studied Japanese a bit in university. Something I loved a lot. I'm really big into gaming and anime. And I always thought that if I knew Japanese, I would be the first to be able to play video games. Because I'm talking at a time, if people who are barely 20 or born after 2000s do not know, but games would take a lot of time before coming from Japan to France.
Right.
So I just wanted to be the first one to play those Japanese video games. I didn't know that the internet would be a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that globalization would be a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I always had a bit of interest into Japan. And I did ryugaku, so an exchange year in Japan, which did not actually go that well. To get back to regarding to me being French, I remember I was in Gaigodai, Tokyo University of Foreign Studies, and I was talking with a student over there.
Yeah.
And he was asking me, where are you from? And I tell him, I'm French.
Yeah.
And he looks at me
Yeah.
like in the eyes, straight in the eyes, and he says, no. I have seen, you can laugh, don't worry. But like, it's like, I have seen French people on TV. You're not French. I was like, okay. It's like, you can't really say anything to that.
Yeah.
It is, we're talking like almost 10 years ago at this point, but still, I was like, okay, sure. Then I went back to France. You need to know about me that I am French, but when it comes to origins and my culture, my mom is from Algeria, so north of Africa, and my dad is from Martinique, the Caribbeans. Both of those places were either enslaved by France or had a war going on with them. I don't know why both my parents decided to move to France and stay there.
Yeah.
But anyway, but why am I saying this? It's quite important because I think in a way that was maybe not really conscious, I always wanted to be accepted by this country. I'm French, born in France, French passport, nationality. My first language has always been French. My native language has always been French. And I've been to Sciences Po, which is the university where every single French president have actually gone through. Then I did an internship at France Télévision, which is the equivalent of NHK or basically your public like TV channel. Then I went to Air France, which is again French-owned company. So I'm pretty sure that you can tell the pattern.
Yeah.
I think unconsciously I was always trying to show that I belong, that I have my place here. And instead of trying to do what I wanted, I was always trying to show that, hey, like, look at me. I'm one of you. And it continued until I moved to Vinci, which is a company that works on like highways and roads, but again, state-owned. The only difference is that there's not France in their name. I worked over there for 10 months, and to be hired most of the time, not most of the time, all of the people hired over there, we all come from that same university, Sciences Po. We all studied the same thing. We all had the same age. Everything was similar.
Yeah.
Then after 10 months, my boss grabs me and tells me, Rudy, it will not work. We'll ask you to quit, to stop working here. Like, basically, you're fired. I ask her, why? And then she simply tells me, not a cultural fit. Like, exactly. It was like, that's the only thing I could say. It's like, oh, not a cultural fit. And then I look around me, and obviously, this culture that she talked about was basically the skin color, because everyone was Caucasian. Everyone came from the same place. By the same place, I mean, was living in Paris. I was not. And I quickly understood that, oh, no matter how hard I tried, at least once I would reach that level, when I was trying to be part of this kind of elite over there, it maybe would not work. So this frustration actually got me to move again to Japan. Why? Even though I had that experience when I was a ryugakusei, an exchange student, it's because at least I knew where I stood. I knew who I was in Japan, the same way you are, the same way that maybe people are looking at us right now. If you go to Japan, you would be called a gaikokujin. You're just a foreigner. You could be yellow, brown, white. We're all just foreigners. And at least it's clear. I'm not trying to be Japanese. It will be very difficult. But yeah, I know who I am. And that was really the beginning of why I came to Japan. And I think that just having this insurance, or just knowing that I'm who I am, it's just a good feeling, because it's been 8 years now.
Yeah, I think it's so insightful. Like, we are starting is very strong. I think it's very insightful in a way that in the end, we are all trying to find where we belong, right? The sense of belonging is very important to all of us. And sometimes, most of the time, people are searching belongings from their root culture or their background. And then for many different reasons, they can't find it. Like, I can't find it for my own reasons. And then that's also why I'm out here. And sometimes I feel like you mentioned about the coming to Japan, like we're all identified equally as foreigners, and that sense of clarity somehow brings the sense of comfort and belongings to us more than when we're back home in the country that we were born in. And it feels like this. It feels like if today you feel like something's wrong with your body and you don't know what is wrong, but that will stress the hell out of you till you go to the doctor, and then they give you a diagnosis, and then you know exactly what's wrong. Not saying that that's the cure, but by knowing
it's it feels so good. And I'd like to actually jump on something that you just said, that idea of those roots that you're talking about. I have been, and to be honest, I am still struggling quite a lot with those roots. Because, for instance, I am half Arab, half black. I do not speak Arabic at all. I do not speak patois, the language from my dad in the Caribbean. And I think this is why as well it was difficult to actually find this kind of home and to try to find myself in those cultures, because they're not mine. I think I do need to talk a bit more about myself, if that's okay.
No.
Cool.
Go ahead.
In the sense that my dad, right now, he will be 82 years old this year. My dad was born right after the end of the Second World War. It's important to say that. Because when he moved from the Caribbean to France, he had a very thick accent, and he still has. But that accent actually had a huge impact on him. People would understand that he's not French, even though he is, but saying, "Oh, you're not one of us," and they would hurt him at work and things like this. So we had one rule when we grew up: no foreign language at home.
Just French.
Just French. because, and I think this is one thing that now we're in 2025, very important if you're watching this in a few years.
We're
But
in 2025.
no, but the mentalities have changed, and the idea of being multicultural, speaking several languages, is something that's beautiful. Most of us, when we have friends having kids, they already tell us that, oh, we want to teach them my language and my partner's language, and this is how we think, and I think it's amazing. But the reality is that a few years ago, and I'm only 34, when my parents raised me, at least my dad, he was afraid that I would have an accent. He was afraid that speaking a different language at home would hurt me and who I can be in terms of integration. So we didn't speak those languages. And through language, when you do not speak those languages, it's even harder to get closer to your culture. So I do not know much about Algeria. I do not know much about Martinique because I was raised as a good French boy.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to say so, because even more for, at least for me, that's why I left France, because I tried to be French and I was raised as a French person, but I was not accepted. But at the same time, I could not really as well shelter myself or get back to being my Caribbean roots or my Algerian roots, because I've never really had those connections.
Right.
Because the goal was to protect me.
Right.
That's why I went far away.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's not necessarily the way, but it's a way.
It's a way.
To try to find your roots. And for me, it meant, taking them somewhere else.
Yeah. As you were like describing your story, what was in my mind was, we, a lot of time with different contexts, we try very hard to play by the books, right?
Yeah.
Like in your household, because of your dad's experience, his identifier is accent.
Yeah.
So he felt at that time, he felt like as long as we solve the accent problem, everything will be fine. Because of that, you cannot be more French than you already are. But the moment, as long as we give the external layer the authority to identify us for who we are, it will never be enough for them. And they can always find something to make the not enough reasonable. And that's something that we can't really control, and we shouldn't feel like we should control. And then go to, like, when you mentioned there's a way of doing how you find your belonging, how you find a sense of belonging. It's sometimes is stop proving anything, right? It becomes pointless at some point. And then you start to realizing, oh, if I just change my surrounding, if I just change the way, then that sometimes it's the solution on its own.
Could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
It's not an end goal. It will forever be a journey. I keep saying that in different episodes, but it is true. Like it's a journey to figure out who you are and where you belong.
It is a journey. I thought that by 34 I was supposed to know, and I still don't know.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm not as lost as I used to be, though. And I think, interestingly enough, it's thanks to my wife in that sense. She's really helping me finding my place here, but not just my wife, but I think it took me a lot of time as well to understand that I could start community here. I could start a family here. That's why I really love when you talk about roots. I quickly understood that. I thought that France would be my roots, that even if I were to leave France, I would always come back, and I always say, oh, I would die in France, obviously. But now it's been 8 years, and I think it's been 8 years for a reason, because I understood that those roots, actually, they don't have to be over there. Because right now, my friends, where I live, where I work, everything is here.
Yeah.
Everything is in Japan.
Yeah.
The woman I love and I'm married, she's here.
Yeah.
And she's not Japanese, she's American. Taiwanese American, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and I think it's very important, because I just understood that maybe I could just build my roots here. And not necessarily in spite of everything outside, but it's just understanding that, I don't care how people what people might think about me, be it in France, be it here. As yes, there are rules. I will follow the rules of wherever I am. But at the same time, as long as I do that, and as long as I have people I care about around, then then it's okay. Those roots could be here.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. And I am similar way. And so among a lot of conversations I have, I talk to people from all kinds of different backgrounds. We all still will have moments of being lost, right? Sometimes I still question my own identity. And then oftentimes I still reflect back on the path I'm walking on and being like, but who am I really? However, like whenever people seek out and trying to talk about it, that's also like somehow how I tend to put it is, you know, the road is within you, and then it's how you want to build a home around you. Like you can't, you know, in my way is different. It's might be different. In your ways is to find that sense of home through people that you connect with, and it comes in different forms. But it's actually a cool thing about the multicultural and finding roots through multicultural experiences. It's also as mobile as you can be. Yeah. So that's like really important, I feel like, for people to feel it.
So important.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. I want to know a little bit about your professional background, because I know you for what you're doing right now, because we're in the same field.
We are.
And then you as a strategist. But earlier when you mentioned the company you worked at.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't make, okay. No, I'm glad I'm just saying this because it basically doesn't make any sense where I've worked. It doesn't make any sense. So I started at Air France, France Télévisions. I was doing communication. Then I worked at, as we've talked about, Air France, where I was doing internal communication. Because you could tell, like, communication marketing is what I'm into.
Yeah.
But it was quite different because basically when you take the plane and when you throw your, like, you give your luggage, how do you think that your luggage get inside a plane? You have an army of people working in the shadows. Literally, you're not supposed to see them, making sure that your luggage go from the drop-off point to the plane and like organize that. And I was working with them, doing internal communication, making sure that the voices of management were heard, but as well making sure that their voices were heard too. Something that was always important to me. I did that. Then for this Vinci thing, this like highway stuff was actually a smart city project that I was working on. How do you build the city of tomorrow? I was doing, again, communication on that, but working more with researcher on trying to understand and build the city of tomorrow. And then I've done a bit of e-commerce. But basically, until I reached 28 years old, almost every year or two, I would change jobs because I was freaking lost. Had no clue what I wanted to do. But I did say that I really love video games, and I was a journalist for 4 years. For our American audiences here, IGN, for people who know more Japanese, Famitsu. So I'm quoting those because for the equivalent of IGN and Famitsu in France. So I was very lucky to meet with, for instance, the creators of Pokemon, interview Hori-san, the creator of Dragon Quest, or for instance, Yoshida-san on Final Fantasy. So really lucky to do all those things. But ultimately, the job that you know me for right now, it's advertising. And I mean, it makes sense for me because I always say that I've been raised by 3 parents, my mom, my dad, and my TV. And
I like that.
I spent so much time because my parents were working a lot. So when you go home, what do? TV. And those ads, they actually stuck in my head. I never thought that I would make ads, but I was lucky enough to find someone who just told me, hey, do you want to try it?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And I just stayed in this world. It's been 6 years now.
Yeah. Even though, like, I know you pretty much at one glance, your jobs, you kind of switch from places to places and field to field. But the common thread I can see is all communications.
Oh, it's So the common thread is communication, not because I love communicating.
Right.
It's just because my degree was in communication. And I was a scared dude who was like, I really need to find a job. I have a degree in marketing communication, so I'll just do that. That's why right now my job doesn't have the words communication or marketing in it. I do strategy for advertising. Very different in that sense. And I actually apply more of my journalistic skills than I do communication.
That's great. But it's all about like analyzing people in some way. So
it's not some way. It's
all the way.
I always say though, I might go to hell if you believe in that, because my job is indeed to sell you Nikes, for instance. Like, hey, you love those shoes? Oh, maybe you don't care about those shoes. Let's make sure that you will care about those shoes. So I am not necessarily saving the world or anything. I'm just doing ads, which I think is important to remind ourselves. But one of the conversations that sometimes we have as well is that ultimately I'm the kind of guy, and I think it's the same for you. I don't like advertising.
Right.
Like I see ads as noise. Right. You go out, you see those billboards selling you stuff that you don't really want. Right. In ways that most of the time do not really like resonate with me. Right. You listen to something, Spotify, let's say. You don't have money to pay for Spotify Premium. You will get ads. You want to watch something, get ads again. There's ads everywhere. Yeah. And for me, it's just noise. Yeah. That doesn't reflect who we are as people. So that's why at least I'm lucky enough to work on big brands, on big projects. That as much as possible, when I can try to bring not necessarily that truth, but at least a bit of me or a bit of others. Yeah. Like, I think that's why this podcast that you're doing, for instance, is a great way to give a voice to different people from different walks of life. Yeah. I feel like advertising should do more of that. And instead of just saying you should do more of, that's why I jumped on that. That's why I'm part of this right now, because I can try to bring a different voice, the voice of a foreigner, black and Arab, but as well trying to be like, hey, maybe there are different ways that you could do those things. Yeah. And ultimately, hopefully, in the end product that you'll see in your TV or in your cell phone, this will be voices, faces, things that you've never seen before.
I totally resonate with that. Yes, I don't like advertising, but I'm still in it. One thing about being in this field is it taught me how to find the right voice to make people relatable, right? I think that's a golden lesson right there. Yeah. I know we touch on like different topics and stuff, but I do want to go back to with your professional specialties and, going from communications and then, you study marketing and communication to like now you being in a strategy position, but not just that, you go from hopping from different culture, one culture to another as you go through this different career path. The big question is, what's your take on society in general right now? But let's break it down. Yes,
because this is not this is a TED talk that you're asking me to do live.
I'll be like, we're not gonna cut out anything. You just gotta wing it. Just gonna wing it. No, I want to talk about a little bit about that, especially because the time we're in right now, around the world, but also in Japan included, is people seem pretty lost because we start to learn to have a voice, and then we have a platform to have a voice. We don't know how to use it in a way that is.
So I would like, in that case, I'm not going to reply yet because I just need you to help me reframe the question. We can do it together. I know of what's happening in the world, but I think I know as much as you do as well, listeners. I know as much as everyone else just because I follow the news. I think that I know more about what's happening in Japan, and I think this is more when you talk about society. I see two different things. If I were, for instance, to break it down, there would be the way that Japanese brands see society and the Japanese society, and then maybe the way that the Japanese audience, the Japanese people might see the world right now. What are you the most interested in?
I feel like it's more so currently how people like locally, how they view not just a brand, just in overall how they view things, right? But also with their context, the context of you having another cultural background and how you analyze it. I think it's another thing that I think it's worth unpacking.
Okay. It's I think if I were to say that, it's very important though to understand that, as we're talking about earlier, I am not Japanese. And why am I saying this? Is it means that whatever I am feeling right now, my experiences are going to be extremely different from local people. Because the situations in which we are as well, the positions that we have, the work that we do, the truth is that we're privileged. We're in good positions. And I think this is very important. That first, we need to have that in mind. I like to always say that we are unicorns, basically. We're coming from a different country. We all have our reasons to be here. We have a specific set of skills. And we are lucky enough to find places that value us for that. So that's very important to say. So now when we look at what's happening in Japan right now, Japan is not in the same situation. We're talking a population of more than 97.1% of the people are Japanese from our Japanese descent. And for the past 5 years or even longer, it has been difficult for them. Economy has not been great. Inflation is real. I know people listen to us in America. They might see that their eggs, the prices have been pretty high. Here, it's rice. That is extremely expensive now and very difficult. It's people here are not necessarily having as many kids as we should for the nation. There are a lot of questions. How are we going to pay for pension? So I think society right now, there's a sense, there's definitely anxiety about the future, because everything is good right now, but we don't know how tomorrow will be. And I think this is always the big difference that we see between the West and the East. Because the West, I'm French and I see what's happening in France. We'll see what's happening in America. The West, it's fucked. Basically. It's very fucked.
It's very fucked.
But at least we see this new generation standing up. We see a lot of things happening right now. Because people understand that they need to fight today for better tomorrow. Japan is a different state. Today is okay. It's not great, but today is okay. Today it's safe. There's still very high level of employment. We're still okay. We know tomorrow will be fucked. But we don't want to take care of it right now.
We just want to focus on today.
And those are the two huge differences right now. And in that sense, and please cut me if I go way too far.
No, I like this direction, so keep going.
But in that sense, this is why, I don't know if you've heard of the term oshikatsu. Oshikatsu is now a big thing right now, but oshikatsu is like having an oshi. Oshi is push. And katsu is activity. And you say I have an oshi is like I have a fave. There's something I love.
Passionate about very deeply.
And we see a lot of people right now, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm going to save. I'm going to try to build something in the future." No, we're just
want to focus one thing at a time and drill as deep as we can.
Exactly. And I think that's a real. That's the best, I think, visualization or expression of that sentiment of today's okay. I don't know about tomorrow and I don't want to know about tomorrow. So if you were to ask me as a foreigner, what do I see? This is really what I'm seeing. Right now.
No, I totally, it's so relatable. And it's funny that you mentioned about OC, because that's most of the time, when I'm at work. Our job as unicorns is we become this cultural bridge. And then we trying to really always bring in reference, right? How the Western world is doing things, how they view things, and then trying to be like, okay, so how can we do things differently, or like in a way that's like haven't been done before. And then it's always like the insight, one of the insights always going back to the OC, because that's such a thing, and a very, very key cultural sentiment that people share over here. So it definitely affects the society, like you said. And and also I resonate when you say about how I can talk about a little bit about in the Americas, like we're fucked, but it is true that people utilize, especially younger generation, that utilize social media to be more vocal about how can we do better, or how can we do things differently, versus over here, if you go on the same social media platform, none of
because it's not a culture that has been, it's not a society that has been really taught to actually do that and learn to express themselves. And I'm not saying this in a bad way at all. I think it's just education. You have a system that is so safe, that is so efficient, because you want and you taught people how to make sure that you follow the rules. You did not teach them to try to make sure that they can break them.
The rules.
While the opposite, for instance, when you see like America, I always tell people, you can do it. Like, it's you. It's the individual that goes first.
Yeah.
You have so many different ways, for instance, in French to say I, like the I, because it's je, moi, je. We always say like I, me, moi, je, because it's I'm able, where I'm being told that I can change the world.
Right.
Even the way that we actually do, for instance, school, when you're in university, we do a lot of oral presentations. It's about having an idea, but it's not about being right or wrong. It's like, how do you defend that idea? But here, it's education is very different, where it's a lot of MCQ, multiple choice questions.
Yes.
It's not about how you defend an idea. Is it the right idea or the wrong one?
Yeah,
Is
there's
it
only
good or bad?
there's only one right one, and then the rest is wrong. Yeah.
Or even the I as well. Here, you do not exist as a person who can change everything, but you exist based on who is around you.
Yes.
I can say watashi.
Yeah.
I can say boku. I can say ore, watashi. My I, my me is defined based on who I am as well.
Yeah.
So that changes a lot on how people will change or not, or will try or not to change the world around them.
Yes. That is so true. That is so true. Because even talking about, because I'm seeing film on the creative side, right? And how we execute is very different.
Yeah.
And, like in the States, it's hyper individualism. So by saying hyper, I mean, it's not just you're unique, it's you're the most unique.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality, which my personal opinion is a little bit risky a lot of times. But because of that mentality, most of the, the slogan or copy, it's always very preachy, right? It's very about just by your one person strength and power, you can change the whole world. Versus over here, it's more like you have to consider the room, right? So it's more like just by your one little push, if you can gather all the little pushes, you can change the world.
You can change the world.
Yeah, so I think that's one communication differences that I pick up so far working in Japan versus like when I work back in the States. It's very different.
It is very different.
Yeah. And then I think it can go as big as recently we just finished a very big election in Japan.
Yeah.
I also see the different ways of communication style.
It's yeah. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this. Okay, so that was our episode, and if you like it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share with anyone that you feel will resonate with this content. And we have new episode every week, so